What's Cooking takes the Italian tradition back to Rhode Island for the Seven Fishes Christmas Eve.
Ho, 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 ho. Welcome, everyone, to What's Cooking, and I'm your host, Santa Claus. Yes, now, this year, we're going to give you something special in your stocking and under the tree. A special meal, the Italian Christmas Eve Seven Fishes. Oh, it's going to be so good. We love seven fishes up at the North Pole. Welcome, welcome all. Oh, ho, 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 yes.
Welcome again to What's Cooking. That was fun. I love Gene Autry. I've got him in the background. I grew up with that at Christmas time, and really, my wife's Italian, and I love seafood, as I mentioned in my shopping segment. So to have, the seven fishes or more right here on my countertop from Belmont Market is a great opportunity for me to share this with you and for you to either learn or maybe gain some new ideas if you're already doing the seven fishes. But I've got everything I need right here in front of me, so we're going to take a closer look to see just what we're going to be doing. Okay, now take a look for seven fishes. We're starting right here, monkfish, okay, down in front. I'm going to prepare that like you'd normally prepare the eel, hunked and fried and so forth. So that's going to be great. And then, of course, you see the jumbo wild raw shrimp. Make a beautiful quahog stuffed shrimp. I'm going to use some of the Belmont seafood stuffing and then add some quahog to that. Then you see the bay scallops, the beautiful fresh bay scallops. We'll toss that with some garlic and lemon and white wine and butter and Ritz cracker. And then you see just behind that the beautiful lobster stuffed mushroom caps prepared by Belmont. So that's one less thing for you to prepare. We don't have to prepare all seven fishes. And then the squid tubes and tentacles just next to that. The tentacles would be chopped up with olives and bread and stuffed into the bodies, and then they'll be poached in marinara. And then another prepared item, the stuffed quahog, another great tradition. You can enjoy those any time of year, but it's a nice addition to your holiday seven fishes. And just behind that, the smaller quahog in the shell there, the little neck. And the little necks will be prepared for clams casino with crumb and bacon and garlic. And then some will be shucked and chopped and added to the stuffing for the shrimp. And then soaking in the bowl back here in the middle is the bacala, the salted cod. This is from Canada. I've soaked it overnight and I've drained it about 3 times to get the salty salt water out of it, the saltiness out of it. And that'll be baked with the pitted prunes and some marinara and pine nuts. And then one more prepared item from Belmont, that beautiful snail salad there. That's a beautiful local snail, or conch, as I like to call it. And it's thinly sliced and marinated in a nice light Italian dressing. And then, of course, along the back here, you can see I've got my pasta and bread and bacon and stuffing, and I've got olives and my 2 cans. I've got a puree and a crushed for the marinara. I've got my Ritz crackers. I've got fresh basil over here and a nice big bowl of curly and flat leaf parsley and some scallion. Got everything I need to work with to get it all done and present you with 7 or 8 or even 9 fishes. Let's get to work. What is better than cooking a holiday meal with my beautiful poinsettia from Belmont Floral, my fresh seafood. I got my Gene Autry on in the background. I'm in my home kitchen. I'm in What's Cooking heaven right here, and I'm starting with some garlic. You gotta get our marinara on because we need the marinara for a few things. So start with some fresh garlic. We gotta get this chopped up, get it into some olive oil, and we're gonna put some fresh basil in there and a few spices and get that marinara simmering while we continue our prep. So let's go to town on some garlic. I like plenty. All right then, I've got my garlic all chopped up and a bit of basil. I'm going to pop the garlic into the olive oil that I've got warming on my stove, and then we'll get back to the first fish. All right, so we're working on our marinara. Got the garlic and oil simmering behind me. I've already put aside the snail salad back on ice. I've got my mushroom caps and my quahog stuffies put aside. They're ready to bake. So there's your first 3 fishes right here. The 4th fish will go in this baking dish, the bacala with the prunes and pine nuts. So I'm going to take that out of the water and I'm going to hunk it up and get it into the baking dish. And I'm all hunked up with my bacala. So I'm arranging that in my baking dish. I've got about an inch hunk on the bottom, and then some of the thinner pieces I'm just scattering in here. And then I'm going to top that and stick in some of these nice pitted prunes. This makes the marinara nice and sweet. And then the pine nuts give it a nice little nutty. So nutty, sweet prunes, salted cod, and marinara. All right, we're back at the cooktop. There's the garlic and olive oil, nice and brown, ready for the crushed. All right, I'm gonna need 2 cans worth of marinara because we've got several, or at least a couple of dishes, and a nice pound of pasta. So hey, you don't want to run out of marinara. So there's 1, and then a puree. All right, and let's add the fresh basil. Gotta have fresh basil in your marinara. And then to that, I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of sugar. Sweeten that up just a little bit. Granulated garlic to add to the garlic flavor. Some sea salt. And I like to just spice it slightly with a little bit of crushed red pepper. So that just looks great. Let's stir it up and get this marinara ready to use in our dishes. Looking good. All right, we got that marinara simmering. We gotta get all that flavor come together. About 20 minutes or so before I can top this casserole dish of the bacala and the prunes and add the pine nuts and get that ready to bake. So let's move on to peeling some of our shrimp. And these are the beautiful shrimp, the raw wild USA shrimp that I'm just going to peel back to the tail and get them ready for the stuffing. I've got a dozen of the jumbo shrimp all peeled up. Now I'm going to butterfly them and arrange them in my baking dish. Just give it a little butterfly and lay it out and get it ready for the stuffing. Right along the back, about halfway through, 2/3 of the way through. See, just like that. Okay, there's a dozen shrimp all butterflied and arranged in a baking dish. They're ready for the stuffing, which I have the Belmont seafood stuffing that I'm adding some chopped little necks to, so I'm going to shuck some little necks next. I think a half a dozen will be just right to give this a nice quahog flavor. So this will be perfect. If you have trouble going through the front, go through the back. Just pop the hinge, and then you open it right up. Try to get them out whole. They're just fresh and beautiful, right from the Belmont Seafood Market. I've got 5 in the bowl, and 1 more makes 6. These were real easy to open because I popped them in the freezer for about 10-15 minutes and got them chilled right down, got those mussels frozen up so they didn't cinch up on me. And there you go, nice and easy. A half a dozen little necks. I'm going to drain the juice off, chop them up, and get them into my seafood stuffing. And there we go, the little necks are drained and on the cutting board, and we're chopping them up. I've got my seafood stuffing right here in my bowl, and I will just add this nice tender chopped fresh South County little necks right to that stuffing, and then we will get those shrimp stuffed so they'll be ready. Nice thing about the 7 fishes is that you can prep most of it the day or 2 before and then just warm things up to serve for Christmas Eve. And chopped little necks right into the stuffing. Like I said, I did about 6 in about a pound of the seafood stuffing. Get them mixed in there. We've already got some nice bits of seafood in there, but boy, I just had to add those little necks in there to make it special. So we are ready to stuff our shrimp. Let's do it. So grab yourself a tablespoon, scoop up some stuffing And I like to pat it down, a nice ball of it right on the spoon, and then slide it right off onto the shrimp. Just pat it down a little bit. So a good tablespoon, heaped up a little bit, gives you a nice serving, a nice portion, nice amount. Here we go. Quahog and seafood stuffed jumbo shrimp, topped with some nice fresh parsley. Makes it pretty and gives it some nice flavor. You know, there's a lot of vitamin C in that parsley. Let's move on to another dish. At this point, you're looking around, you're like, okay, what can I do next? What do I have to work with? I still have a nice portion of this seafood stuffing here. It has a little bit of the clam in it. Now, I need a little bit of crumb stuffing for my clams casino, but I also really need it for my baked scallops. So I think I'm going to use this up with the baked scallops, just make that even a little bit better, more savory, more delicious. And by stretching this out with a little bit more Ritz, I'm going to add some parsley, some lemon, and a little bit of my quahog juice from my drained little necks. I'm going to make this a great stuffing to mix in with my baked scallops. Well, this is like Santa's workshop, only we're making food instead of toys. This is so much fun. All right, I've juiced about a half of a lemon. I've crushed up about a half a sleeve of Ritz and added it to my seafood stuffing. And I'm going to go right in here with my juice, my lemon juice. Just filtering out the seeds. And then I'm going to moisten that also with a little bit of the drained Little Neck liqueur. All right. And let's mix it up and see where we're at. Okay, the stuffing is all set and all mixed. I'm going to add some fresh parsley. The lemon juice is in there, a little bit of the Little Neck liqueur. I've drained these scallops off. I'm going to add them right in, and let's toss them around. And they're nicely mixed with the stuffing. I'm adding some of that nice Belmont toasted minced garlic. Nice little step saver. Instead of doing it fresh and toasting it up yourself, just grab it off your spice rack and mix it in. And they are ready to put right into a nice little baking dish. The scallops and shrimp are ready for the oven. The stuffies and of course mushroom caps are ready. The snail salad's ready. We're moving right along. We got 5 fish, and number 6 is right here in front of me, the bacala with prunes. The marinara is ready. We've been simmering that for a good 20 minutes, half an hour. So let's get the marinara right into the casserole dish with the bacala and the prunes. And we'll top it with pine nuts. And just a little bit more marinara. I'm just going to jiggle it and make sure it's worked its way to the bottom. And I'm going to top it with the pine nuts. And these will toast up beautifully in the oven. Okay, it's time to make clams casino. And of course, it's got bacon on it, so it's got to be good. But it starts with a nice fresh Little Neck. And we're going to do a dozen. The easiest way to make clams casino is just to cut the Little Neck right in half. Right in half. So that you get 2 halves. One Little Neck makes 2 casinos. And so you have room for the stuffing and the bacon. That one was easy. Right down the middle. Break it in half. Beautiful. And here we go. I added a little bit more crumb. You can see it's moist, but just there's a nice amount there. You can see the parsley in there for color, garlic, lemon, and you know you got some nice flavor with that Little Neck juice. So I'm going to scoop some up and get it onto the clam. The Little Necks are stuffed. The slab of bacon is right here on my cutting board. I'm going to cut up some pieces and get the bacon on top. I've got about a 1 to a 1 1/4 inch cut on the bacon. Clams casino all topped with bacon, and for a little flavor and color, some chopped parsley right on top. That's all we have time for right now, so stay right there and tune in and flip right over to part 2, cooking the 7 fishes.